Salutations. Welcome to episode 17 of the Bourbon Banter podcast with me, Mr. Bourbon. You know, it's episode 17, but it's kind of like episode 1 of like the new format. Took a bit of time off because I wanted to sort of get the format and get the platform right. A lot of people say to me, look, you know, I'm feeling it, but I want some visuals. I think the visuals will let it pop. So I was like, you know what? Listened and took a bit of time off to get it right. And so we're back in 2020. New year, new platform. So thanks for everyone for kind of like bearing with me. Couple of thank yous, man, for people kind of that have like rocked me over the way. Like big up to first of all, Courtney. Courtney Rose has literally been helping me out. He's sort of getting everything ready and getting everything. He's the kind of man behind the camera, sort of, and the vocals and everything. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of providing, allow me to actually do what I do. So big up to Courtney. Everyone who's kind of like just been, as soon as I release something, you just share it. Like big up people like Richard Johnson, Jerry Leary, Lido Scarshot. Every man from WhatsApp groups that kind of like bless it up. Emily Catherine, Rianne, even like Nathan Kenny, who every time I disrespect Eminem, he comes from a neck on my Facebook. You get me? But it's all love, man. It's all love. But yeah, so starting the year off right. So we've got 2 special guests in the building. One of them who's been here in an earlier episode, and one who's new to the podcast as well. So, do you want to go and introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Nay Loco, and this is first time being here. Honored to be here. Local Healers. I make up half of Local Healers, which is a duo formed recently over the last summer. Me and my brother Ty Healy here. We really just come together and, you know what I mean, just started putting in that work. And as I was saying earlier to you, you know, it was just a bit of fun, really, that just kind of came together, gelled well. And when we kind of rocked with it, it became a bit more than what we didn't plan in the first place. So that's me.
Yeah, man. And like I said, I'll be the other half of the Local Healers. And back once more, it's Ty Healy. Nottingham, shout out the city, man. Everyone, the squad, everyone knows who they are. So much love to all. Thank you for having me again, man.
No problem, man. Blessed for coming through. Mm-hmm. All right, first of all, what you guys been listening to today? What's been the soundtrack to your day? Like,
what's soundtrack to the day?
Honestly, when we linked up earlier today, the soundtrack's been an instrumental, really, innit? Been working still, so we just we did a feature for my brother Reckless. So we kind of just had, you know, if you're any MCs out there, you know, you put an instrumental on that, you think, oh yeah, it'll take me a little while just to write a bit. Nah, man, that's on for at least a good hour, and you just over and over again. So pretty much the soundtrack has been just that one rhythm, really. Yeah,
so I think Ty just about killed his verse as well. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He kind of knocked it out real quick and got that already in his mind. But yeah, you know, I'm still working at that. But yeah, we're good, man. We're straight. So Reckless, when we get that over to you, man, you're gonna like what we got for you.
For sure. I'm trying to think song-wise. What have we been listening to today? You know what? Like the Spotify thing is crazy, you know, because like the playlist is just like sending like new stuff to you all the time, like. I've been listening to actually Mac Miller actually. Because it was mad because I'm quite a big Mac Miller fan. So but Eminem's album came out the same day, kind of thing. So my bro was it Nathan Kelly, if you will. Don't kill me on this, but I'm not really feeling that too tough. But the Mac Miller album, I really liked it because it was almost like a conceptual album to the one he did before, isn't it? Like, so it's weird because it was more like sing melodic kind of thing, but
it's like swimming. Well, apparently it was supposed to be like a continuation.
Yeah, like swimming in circles.
So it's meant to be sort of like a continuation of swimming. Mm-hmm. So musically,
absolutely makes sense.
It works well in that way. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess.
What about you though? That's right,
yeah, you go, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say that for me today, you know, I've actually gone back and delved back into a bit of old terminology. You know what I mean? Like I said for a while, he's been my guy still. Right? You know what I mean?
For sure.
And he's got those. Obviously, he's got the 50 bodies. He's got a couple of those. I can't remember. That guy works too hard to remember. But yeah, he's got a couple of bangers on there. So that's what's been on rotation for me as well today.
This will be working with Static Selector.
Yeah. He's putting that working with him, man. It's good to see Static working with, branching out, working with other people as well. You know what I mean? And just the sound that they make, man. Yeah, man. There's a couple producers in the game now that would really love to work with. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? He would definitely be one of them. You know what I mean? There's a couple of others we could name in there. So yeah, there's work to come, man. I'm excited.
No, it's funny because you thought about like going back old school and that. And the thing is, I was reading something the other day, and it was basically talking about how we need to sort of like give flowers to like platforms like thatpiff.com. Because what they're basically saying is, and I hadn't thought about it really, that is the only place where you're going to be able to get old school sort of like mixtapes and that from back in the day. Because obviously, because a lot of it was sort of, when you found mixtapes, it was just literally people rapping over other people's tracks. Samples that aren't cleared and them sort of things like that. So you're not going to get them on streaming websites.
At all.
So, platforms. So if you want to go back, like there's bare like old mixtape, like Dipset mixtapes or whatever.
Yeah. Dipset Christmas. I remember that.
And then half them man we're clearing them samples.
Well, you know, funny enough, you know that obviously off mic we spoke on that documentary I was on about the I think it's called Evolution of Hip Hop on Netflix. Not trying to plug them, but you know, obviously, like we watched that and there was a bit where, you know, DJ Drama, he did like all the Gangster Grill stuff. They touched on his Fed case when like the FBI came in. It basically like was kind of the end of like physical sales of mixtape, and that's when it moved on to the internet
Digital
and stuff. Like,
and all of that,
it's just mad because I remember like there was that Piff, there was like Nah Right, there was a few of them, Two Dope Boys, another like them blog sites, you know what I mean? And it was mad because like I used to find, especially back in that Wayne mixtape era, it was weird because I almost felt like all the mixtapes were better than the albums, and it's probably because of the sample clearing and you was able to just rinse and
use what they want. That's what I mean. You're free to do what you want to do with the music, and that's what I was going to say with a lot of my stuff. Really, if you go back, I mean, you don't even really have to look too far to where a lot of my stuff really you're not going to find on the streaming site because I wasn't able to clear the sample or to get a beat. It's just like, wow, I've heard that beat. He's done his thing, and I'm not really sure what he's done with it, but this is what I want to do with it. But obviously, I can't put it there, so here it is on the Bandcamp. So if you go there, mixtape galore from when I started, you know what I mean, my journey, which was from way back in the day with Court's brother over here, you know what I mean? So Trevor, CRS days, Trevor and Nick down there was, you know what I mean, kind of schooling me from young, and I was making the mixtapes there. And a lot of the time, you'd work with producers at the studio, but because you got so many people coming through the studio and being creative, it was hard a lot of the time to put something together that was original and was your piece. So to keep things bubbling along, you've got to kind of, right, let me just grab that beat here, grab that beat there, and just fling it on and write two bars real quick, and you know what I mean? And that's the kind of stuff. For me, that's what hip-hop is, and is, you know what I mean? That's the music, the essence, and that's where the love of it comes from for me. But obviously, business side of it and moving forward as we get older and things change and you look at things in a different light, you've kind of in certain ways got to go, right, well, that's okay to do the mixtape for over here, over there, but I've got to do the stuff that's got to get on the streaming sites and get me some radio play.
We had a bit of trouble with that. Even like this album we've got is coming out pretty soon. Like it was mad. There was like 2 songs that weren't gonna be cleared for it. So I sat there. I was like, well, realistically, we're probably gonna have to not put it on the streaming sites whatsoever. So I was like, you might as well put every sample like you could find. Like it literally, like I even got flagged for a song that was originally produced. Like the distributor emailed me and said, oh, you know, this guitar bit, this sound. I'm like, what? It's just because it's good.
The one you have to print
so I was literally had to like make a fake invoice. Like, oh look, this is what I charged him to. Or that's why he charged me rather to play it. And it's like, you didn't charge me. It's my brethren. But they literally like, it's almost like they got this ear to go, oh well, that is almost too high quality to be an independent release. Is that from something that's like, it's weird.
Taking
like,
it from somewhere or something.
It just sounds.
To be honest, I actually want to touch on that actually in a bit, because at the moment it's so peak.
It's like, definitely peak.
And people are getting caught up on the whole heap of lawsuits over things like that and getting sued for things because it sounds similar. Like a certain part of it and that. But to what you were saying about like people just grabbing beats and then just rapping over them, and that's really the only way you really kind of keep yourself bubbling and that. And that's why a lot of websites like we're gonna suffer basically when that pit kind of falls apart because
Yeah,
we've got
for
like
real.
two dope boys. Like I said, that's kind of I've not really heard them for a while, and that piff really is the only place really. And even now, if you go on and try and find old mixtapes, they're not there. Like because they're kind of like
yeah.
I think it's because of the way music's moving as well. I think when I think of sites like that piff, I'm really thinking of, and not to hate on any kind of new school as they call kind of rapping. I don't think of your new school rappers. I think of, like you say, your kind of your legendary, your classics. That's where you're going back to your mixtapes. That's why you want them as mixtapes. Whereas nowadays, I'm not even sure if your artists nowadays are really making those.
Well,
you know what I mean?
There's almost no point because you essentially only want streams now. So it's like the idea of I'm going to release music that's probably going to cause me issues. That, to be honest, I genuinely think that's why a lot of like our favorite mixtape like MCs and stuff don't go on to have successful like major like releases and stuff because you go with the exception of obviously the Griselda boys because they smashed that album out by the way. But,
they did.
But yeah, like I think that is like the bump in the road you do get because it's like, you know, I always think hip hop is sample based, you know, and the whole point of it was that. So the idea that that's going to be like
disco samples and stuff back in the day.
It's just baffling to me that now it's become so massive that, you know, and you know, with respect to everyone who made the original music, like if I didn't like something someone was sampling with me, I'd say, nah, either pay me or I completely understand that, but I just feel like the business side of, you know, modern music is quite mad. Like I don't want to ramble on, but I was talking to Nate the other day about did some research on how streaming numbers actually work now. So it's something like 30 seconds of audio is how you calculate a stream. So if you make a new song, say like, I don't know, 3 verses, I don't know if you noticed, the third verse in most songs just kind of doesn't exist anymore. It's because the idea is if they're only getting paid off the first 30 seconds of song, why would you spend time making a song that's 3 minutes plus when actually all we're going to get paid off is this? So a lot of songs now are intro, the chorus at the beginning, because that's the memorable bit that you'll skip back to. One verse, maybe a second chorus, and it'll kind of fade out. I know a lot of music is getting made like that.
Sometimes you even repeat the first verse.
Do you know what I mean? Just because it's like, well, and it's weird because then it becomes is this even art anymore if we're actually going into it like, I'm going to create this knowing that I've got to be obsessed with, I got to get my 30 seconds in to get it streamed, and then that's how I make money. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just quite interesting, to be honest. But
no, you're right, and to that point as well, you can. I think in order for an album to be a project to be classified as an album, and I think legible to be like, I don't know, put forward for Grammys or something.
Yeah,
not Grammys. It's Grammys, isn't it? Music.
Grammys.
It has to be, I think, like a certain amount of songs. I think it has to be like 5 songs. Don't quote me.
Which would be an EP.
And if you've got like, and I think the song has to be like a minute and a half or 2 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, you know, there's no incentive really to put together bodies of work. That is huge.
Which makes sense.
Do you know what I mean? So people that do that, you can tell they do it for the love of music. Because to be fair, because to go back to your point, because you said you listened to the M album,
It's 20 tracks, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I listened today. There's like 20 tracks on there.
So you can see that's work.
I'm not really an M fan. I've never really been an M fan.
Not even peak Eminem, like Slim Shady LP.
I really liked earlier M.
Okay.
I was going to say I had some influence.
I liked earlier M. I think my favourite M track is Role Models.
Oh, Slim Shady LP. Yeah, so that's 1997. Yeah.
But like, I don't like his cadences. I don't like his voice. I just don't like the way he does his voice.
Yeah, I think that's like modern M, as in like the M we get today. It sounds weird because I would never like wish this on anyone, but it seems to me anyway that drugged up Eminem is the one that I naturally gravitate to. And you know, he's a grown man. You know what I mean? You don't want him to like be relapsing and stuff, or even pretending to. Because even like that those like later albums where it's like, yo, I'm going back to that status. Like it was never really that because you weren't in that same place. Not to make this like a Eminem debate kind of thing, because I was a massive fan, but I feel like it's never gonna eclipse what it was. So I'm cool. Do you know what I mean? I'm good on it. Like what I hear, it's like, all right, cool, but I just Eminem over 808s just doesn't sit well with me when it's like, well, you've got Dre. Yeah. And I don't know. Just for me as like who enjoys modern hip hop a lot. I just kind of don't want him doing that, but who am I to say that?
I think it's just that I didn't like his. I mean, to be honest, to give him his flowers, as a rapper, he's
supreme
brilliant.
lyricist.
Yeah, brilliant.
Sure.
I just don't like the stuff that he puts together. Like I will, because there's a time when he was producing his own beats.
I remember that era. Yeah, not
the beats were pretty dead, and they went through that phase of like formulaic sort of like Skylar Grey on the hook.
Oh yeah, and there's that on the new album as well. Isn't there?
That kind of commercialised routine of the track of how it should go.
To be
almost.
fair, like because I didn't like I didn't like that. The one before the last one.
The one that was like conscious, like the
I didn't like that
revival.
one.
Was weird.
The last one before that was okay.
Kamikaze.
I didn't mind this one, and
it's cool.
I liked some of the half of the album.
Yeah.
I liked some of the first half, and then the second half I didn't like.
Okay.
But I only like some of the first half, so it's kind of like
I've not heard it, so I can't comment.
It's kind of like what I like about it, he's kind of stepped out of his sort of box a little bit because he's working with other people. I think it's like Young M.A. on there, and he's working with the producers as well. So the beats are a bit different,
bit more
as
modern,
well.
a bit more contemporary.
There's still like M that I don't like on this, but there's still, but like as an M album, it's one of the better ones for me personally, and that's coming from a guy
more palatable.
Me and Nay were talking about like I assume you're a fan of like Griselda and Westside.
Yeah.
So that you heard the M feature. Yo, shout out West, man, that's my guy. But like the Conway's got a song with Eminem on it on the Griselda album.
Yeah,
and
I didn't like him on
it was weird, right? Because with the beat switch,
that was horrible. Actually.
It's strange because I said to Nay, I was like, yo, I reckon the best M that you would get in 2019, 2020, whatever, would be if he got with people like Derringer, like Alchemist, and made that kind of rap. Yeah. Would be like the fix for it. That's what at least what I thought, because he's a hip hop child himself. Yeah. And then when we heard the Conway song, I was like, oh, right. So you got that wrong as well.
Because it didn't fit what, like you've got Griselda, and then M comes with his. It wasn't fitting for
definitely not,
on subject matter wise and everything as well. So
he just did himself on something which wasn't a part of something else. It just tried to add something to it. It didn't. The piece of the jigsaw didn't fit the puzzle. You know what I mean?
I feel like Derringer almost like made the beat cater to that as well, though, because I don't imagine that beat was made like I assume that loop was what Conway rapped on. M came and said, "Well, I'm gonna do this." Yeah. So like, because the beat, to be honest, to me, it sounds like a separate song. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like just hearing like the patterns and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm a bit too critical, but I just know, like you, there's a time where Eminem to me was up here, and it just hasn't been that for a while. So I'm just cool on it, but I also don't want to be like a hater either, because I'd like to rap till I'm 50.
And other people have opposite opinion on it even. Some people will probably tell you know what, when he was coming up and he was doing all of this freestyle shit that I personally really digged and was influenced off, maybe they didn't like him or didn't even know who he was back then, you know what I mean? And then I almost more feel once he kind of became more kind of commercialized and was known by a lot more people, and that's when things kind of changed up a bit. And there's certain ways where it kind of jumps back and tries to do him, but he's changed as a person, as we all do. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
whether you'd call it growth, which I guess you have to call it growth. He's grown as a person and as an artist, and he's seen business and seen the industry and seen things that some of us will never get to see, you know what I mean? So there's things and decisions that he's probably made that we can't even really fathom to make a decision on and start to judge on, but it's also crazy, so man.
Yeah, I think like is what he went through a phase where he was just living in a bit of a box and in his own little shell, but with this album, what I liked about it more is the fact that he was kind of like open to doing a bit more experimenting. He went a bit too far though, because there's one track.
Was the Juice WRLD one?
It's called Farewell, and it's that track.
Go on.
I don't wanna, I don't wanna play.
Oh, you flipped that?
Yes, on Farewell.
Do you know, I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, it's that beat, that dancehall beat. I never want to hear that.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, it was. Because because I was like, is this real? Like, actually, true. I know it was near the end of the album, isn't it? Yeah.
Second half, I wasn't really.
But then, do you know what's weird? I again don't want to like make it like an Eminem podcast, but like, I feel like what happens is on these albums you get glimpses of that Gun Control song. That's an excellent. to me. Do you know Darkness.
I really
stuff like that is like
that song is brilliant.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like gives you flashbacks of what you want.
100%, and there's just a part of me that goes, brilliant. How do you not hear that? And then you hear like is it like a Movado flip or whatever that sample is. Like, it was like, how do you like go? Oh well, this is the same. But again, it's all subjective, isn't it? So I don't know. But
there's
like,
Ed Sheeran track on there that we should talk about.
Listen, Ed Sheeran is cancelled, yo. I'm done. Like, and again, you just sound like a hater when you say things like that. But nah, I'm done. I'm done on it. I'm cool on Ed. Ed's out here, man.
Damn.
Nah, serious, because it's like getting on my Joe Budden shit now. Nah, but
what he do to you?
He didn't do shit. But like, what he does do is just, you can just hear, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a music snob, but I swear there's like, and this is not an Ed Sheeran comment, this is just in general, you can hear songs that's definitely like, the label has bought this song, it came with a hook, no verses in it, and went, right, who do we ship these to? Because every time I hear them songs, I'm just like, it just...
Sound factory made.
Yeah, it's just literally, it's the churn. The same way them Skylar Grey record, to me, I just hear it and I go, nah, you didn't love that. Like, but then what's weird is they end up becoming the ones that do the most numbers because of the names. So it's like, again, here's me just sounding like, I don't like it. And then you're going to have 10 million kids like, that's the greatest ever. Yeah. That's the Ed Sheeran, Eminem. And it's just like, let me just hit the vape. Yeah.
That's why it's where you put your worth, I guess, innit? That's always the big question, innit? Sure. What do you put your worth in? Is it in the masses following them? Is it in your respect from a certain group of people? You know what I mean? And you're gonna get different things that are gonna come with respect from all of those areas. You know what I mean? And some areas it's a lot more money than others.
You've both just not hit it on the head, because integrity, and you're talking numbers like that. Yeah. To me, them songs are, we know this is the one that, again, going back to the Spotify thing, is gonna spike the numbers for the sheer fact that those names are playlisted names. Because that's pretty much, obviously, I've talked to you about it before, like when we was doing like Harley's album and stuff, like what really got the numbers up, shout out to you, by the way, it's done over 1 million streams on Spotify, so well done.
Yeah, like dope as well, you know. That Harley B album.
I don't want to be biased, but yeah, she's the truth. Like,
it is.
But yeah, like what really got them numbers up was like Spotify had like there's curators on there that have like so almost like the influencers, like so what would have been like Dat Piff, like yo, this is mixtape of the month. Do you remember that the Fire Flame, like yo, this is the basically what they do with Spotify now is they have like curators who go, all right, yo, this is gonna be the soulful jazz playlist that anyone who's into that the algorithm will point you towards this, and loads of her songs have been on really like high up their playlists and stuff, and it's mad because it really does like get it.
And I guess that's a real good side of the whole 100%. Digital kind of sales side to it, you know what I mean? So that's something that maybe even people didn't even foresee with that they thought that, oh, well, once I can't sell my CD and I can only put it there, it's only going to be listened to by people that already know me and are looking for me. No, I mean, as you said, now if you get, your music popping and such, which we're about to do this year, then you can get yourself on, your playlists and such and such. But
everyone's their own DJ now, aren't they? Pretty much. And
I think that's it. I think with things like playlists and stuff, you can literally just grab that from that.
Definitely.
And you get put onto artists that you never would have thought about. And like a lot of like streaming platforms will have things where it's like, okay, so if you like this, then you're gonna like this. Yeah. And you may never ever heard of that person.
For sure.
So sometimes you get put onto people that you never would have heard about.
That's a fact.
So that's a good thing.
I've had that myself, for real, you know what I mean? I found like even like a couple of artists, or whether it's been a random tune or two that, like you said, I never would have found unless Spotify threw me this way, that way and the other. So in certain ways, you can't complain too much, but the whole CD era was good. I mean,
Spotify, give Bourbon and Banter a check, man, because you're getting a lot of playlists on there. Get this one up there.
Listen. I'm about, man. I'm open to conversation.
I got the CDs still, mixtapes. I've got them. You know what I mean? In the attic at home. When we recording right next to the booth, I got a bag full of CDs, mixtapes still ready to fling out. So you lot that are out there still looking for CDs, and I've got something you can still play them on. Then we got them for you. We got them.
Right. Local healers.
Yes.
So, how did you've been rapping for a while?
Yeah, for a while, man.
From a while, you've been rapping for a while.
For sure.
How did this collaboration happen?
Right. Should we give them the Google search answer, or should I give them like the real? No, I'm joking. But no, you know what? Like, not to plug ourselves, but we've got a website now, localhealers.co.uk. on that website is a documentary we made. It's a mini doc, it's only like 6 minutes long, and we kind of like explain how this kind of came together. Really,
so you
like
get a real good idea from that.
Sorry, man, hotline blinging it. But so Local Healers. In short, the name was kind of a flip on our names, respectively, because he's Nay Loco, I'm Ty Healy, so it's like local from Loco and Healy, healers. So that's kind of, you know what I'm saying?
So that just came together real well. And that was my reaction when he first came up with a name. I was just like, all right, that's what it is. We settled on that.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean. We settled on that.
I hadn't even clocked that.
Yeah, to be honest,
I thought it was going to be some deep thing. Like, yeah, man, I just want to heal the rap game.
To be honest,
Heal the rap game with some bars,
I said to him, I was like, yo, what we should do, though, is every time someone asks, give, like, a different answer. Like, so say one time it's this, one time it's that. But, like, it was like we were doing tunes already. My bad, yo, listen.
And that is exactly what we've come with, In fact, we've been at the gigs, and that's exactly what we told the crowd, because a lot of the tunes that we actually come with, although we do like hip-hop and we like a lot of this down, dirty street kind of stuff, you know what I mean? The life that we live, we rap about what we see, we want to depict that. There's good, there's bad, you know what I mean? So all of that gets shown. So you can come to one of our shows, you can vibe out, you can dance, you know what I mean? At the same time, you can get some realness. And we tell people we are there to heal through bars, through poetry, you know what I mean? Through the art that we do and we create and we give to the people. So
I think it's love. I think it's if you know either me or Nay respectively, like in maybe my spoken word stuff, or Nay even did the grime thing before. Like I think if you know anything about me or him, I think the Local Healer stuff is kind of like a melting pot of all of that, and then almost like coming to like, all right, everything we've learned in doing stuff, whether it be like in our solo stuff, like obviously even me, I got the band, the First Blood and stuff. I think this is kind of like, it is kind of what the name says, because it is like taking everything we've got like close to us. Obviously we've got like Pete and DJ Fever, like these keep people producing for us. You know what I mean? Legends. So shout out Feves. Like Fever. Like it's kind of like bringing everyone together and like kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like bridging something. I'm not saying there's like a gap in it or anything, but like there is this kind of thing of like, in Nottingham especially, I feel like there's almost like multiple scenes within the scene. You've got like the live musicians, you've got
clicky
like, the
as a
rhymes. Yeah, exactly. Whereas technically, from that standpoint, Nay would technically be on one side and I'd be on the other side. But then here we are together, and now we're linking up with everyone. Like in one sense, we would be with First Blood, but then next minute we'll be with Thieves, or it's mad. It
should be a lot more collaborations.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I think this is like a good way to set that example, you know what I mean? With me and him, like we've done so much music in such a short amount of time. And I said to him, look, we could really smash this if we like stack up. And then when we say, all right, we're pressing go on this, like we're always gonna have content. It's not gonna be one of these things where people start projects and you do it for a couple of months and it kind of fades out. This ain't gonna happen now, because we're like 2 albums finished already.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, so
and we've not even really released.
No, nothing's out yet. So it's like I say, this is content kings, man. Like I said, I was saying to you again off mic, like even with the visual stuff, like that's kind of like a goal for me personally, because I did like media studies at university and whatnot, and I was always like, man, I wish I didn't have to be in front of the camera, because I'd love to like direct and edit videos and stuff like that. But now, because I've got Nay here, and obviously we've got Mike, shout out Mike, like I've got 2 more bodies there that can also that get the vision. Do you know what I mean? To the point where we can kind of like create like our own like little world with this Local Healers thing, and it just seems to like. Obviously, again, we've only had like 1 release come out so far, but like you'll see, it's like it's becoming very much its own thing. And what I really like about it is people from every side of the game like respect it. Like you got like certain like the youngers I talk to and stuff who are very much on this drill crud. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We'll listen to mine and him, like, yo, fam, you're honestly, Ty, we've always respected what you do. Yo, gee. Like, and then it's really nice because it's like it's not even necessarily that style, but because there's an understanding of it's real to,
it's still respected.
Like, and I really, and I'm quite proud of that. And I think that's where the name Local Healers is definitely like on point, because it kind of caters to that. Like, same with like, the olders in the game, our peers, even obviously, anyone who does hip hop, you can tell it's dope. It's good beats, it's good rapping, end of the day. So I think it's like, again, it's like a bridging of basically all that we've got to offer, really. And I think
we've really just brought it all together, like you touched on earlier. That's what I mean. We was already, as you said earlier, working hard for years before apart, you know what I mean, solo. So I mean, like I said, I've got mixtapes galore on the Bandcamp. I remember back in the day they had the Get Nuts was another one.
Oh yeah, shout out Joe Roach.
For real. Yeah, every mixtape used to go up there as well, for real. I don't think it exists anymore. We need a little
shout out
something
Joe
like that
Roach,
again.
man, because the funniest thing is, right, so the first mixtape I ever did, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's trash. Just to put it out there, like, it's not good. But, like, no mixes. It was all, like, YouTube rip, put a quick little compression on, and then that's it.
How it kind of used to be.
Say, I'm the hardest, so it don't matter how it sounds. Like, it was that kind of thing. And I wanted to play it the other day, so I just wanted to, like, to hear, like, the growth in it kind of thing. I must have been about, what, like 19 or something like that. But, yeah, for a minute. And I went on, like, Get Nuts, and it just said, like, this domain is up for purchase or something like that. So it clearly don't
I think he was looking to bring it back at some point, but maybe it didn't kick off enough. Maybe there weren't enough artists that was still on their thing like us. But I mean, I was still going, you know what I mean? So I mean, I had mixtapes up there. They still are there, and we're gonna keep continuing to bang out stuff. So yeah,
it is. I think people now are trying to do more original content, so
100%.
they're gonna put it straight onto streaming sites. So they're thinking, Pete.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean,
and to be honest, a lot of the time nowadays, when you tell people, "Oh, this is out, that's out,"
is it on Spotify?
There you go. You get that question a lot of times. So it's almost sometimes like you can't. It's a first hurdle you've got to jump with some people. You know what I mean? But some people don't get or will never get or respect the fact that some of the music, like you say, because of what it is, and you can't clear this, that, or the other, it can't go up there. But there's still a lot of work that's been put into it, and it still wants to be appreciated and heard. And that's where I think, as I say, hip hop really just has its own kind of essence of what hip hop is. And when I say hip hop culture, people really kind of, I'm sure, will know what I mean. That have got a live a hip hop culture. You know what I mean?
You mentioned that you used to do grime. Do you still follow it?
You know what?
I know
every time I do come back to it, it gets me bubbling. It gets me excited. You know what I mean? And I kind of want to delve back into it. I've not done anything in that way in a couple of years, to tell the truth. But I still listen to a bit of grime music. You know what I mean? It's still a UK sound that you can't get away from. But obviously, recently, I mean, there's been a whole lot of drama that no one can really ignore. You know what I mean? But for me, really, I'm not even really sure it's been as big as it's been hyped up to be. I think there's been kind of jewels in the past that have been
I'd like to know
better,
your opinion on it,
harder,
to be honest.
whatever, you know what I mean? For example, Gets, P-Money, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
Shout out to
All
the
those
legends,
kind of
For
things.
those that
there
know, we're
happen.
talking about the Wiley and
There you go. I didn't have to mention
Wiley
it
and
because it's
Stormzy.
that big now.
Go on, because obviously from the Clash Money days, like, this is kind of like an exciting part of the game that we both mutually are like, all right, yo, what's happening? So I would be interested to know.
Who do you think took it?
Who do I say? All right, you want to go by rounds, because it's like, how many diss tracks is there? Like, there's technically three. There's three from Wiley, 2 from Stormzy, right?
Yeah, but Wiley.
So if we consider, if we eradicate the third and we go that one to that one, that one to that one.
Eradicating the third one. What's wrong with the third one?
There's nothing wrong with it, but like,
And it's just what's happened recently itself.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
before.
It was dead, wasn't it?
I'm not gonna say.
Yo, you say it.
I'm not
You
gonna
say
say
it.
that.
Just say it.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, but you know what's mad though? Like, I'm not for the disrespect with Wiley, you know. Like, that guy basically created grime. Like, obviously there's more to it than that, but I don't know, man. Like, if the beef kind of kicks off from Stormzy doing a song called Wiley Flow, or is that what the record's called? Like, I know there's more to it than that, but like, there's clearly like a recognized. I listened to that song and I was like, well, yeah, they are literally classic grime flips from Wiley. Like, do you know what I mean?
He's paying homage.
100%. And like, but I can tell you from personal experience. I'm not gonna go too much into it. It's not really my business, but Wiley is a head case, and and I'm pretty sure it's kind of well known. Like, but I've seen firsthand the kind of long edge he can be on, kind of thing. So I could imagine that guy taking that however he took it, and then obviously it's blown out to be like, I'll be honest, bro, this whole suck your mum business, I'm not really in it. When they're both grown men, I'm not really here for it. But if we're just talking strictly on some grime tip, tune for tune, for me, like, Wiley equals grime. Was Stormzy more disrespectful? Yes. Is Stormzy bigger right now? Yes. But for me, though, I don't know, man. I'm always gonna go with Wiley. I can't lie.
I think that a lot of the fans nowadays with the grime, like we've said, like almost the shock and even with Eminem back in the day, and it's that what I think a lot of people do gravitate to. So the disrespectfulness and that kind of thing, a lot of the time, that's seen as strength. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if he said this about you, it's like,
then it's like that's the punch. Like,
if you've not come back with something that's as hard as that or worse than that, then he's bodied you.
When you say hard, you mean as raw. Like,
whether it's as disrespectful, whether it hits as hard, but it's how it's perceived and taken. You know what I mean? And it's blown up by other people. And I guess you never really know how it's going to come across until it's out there and people react. And sometimes you might get a reaction that's totally different as an MC to what you thought you was going to get, which could either land you in some trouble or could, you know what I mean, work to your advantage. So
for me, I look at kind of things like,
go on.
Yeah, there's disrespect, but I also look at for factual information as well.
Okay.
So, for example, Wiley's like, I'll slap your one's weave off. But are you really though? And more importantly, are we in year 9? Do you know what I mean? It sounds like a mum joke.
I hear that.
And I kind of think to myself, like, Wiley, you're pushing, like, you must be 40. Well, I'm 34, so he must be 40.
Probably. But was Nas really being serious when he said Jay-Z's a Tybo ho? Like, do you know what I mean? It's
that's why.
That's the rules.
And that's why I think Takeover was better than Ether.
Fair enough.
But for me, it's kind of like when I think Wiley was just overly disrespectful, and I think the thing is that like Stormzy was just minding his own business, and you've just kind of like come in and just been like sending from on square or whatever, and obviously you've done your double whatever, and the first one was it was hard.
The first Wiley one,
I thought it was quite hard, but for me, I think like I'm not the biggest Stormzy fan. Like I am, if we're talking musically, I'm more Wiley, but for me, Stormzy's basically saying to him, look,
you ain't that guy no more.
I moved up your brother.
Yeah,
in front of your dad.
Yeah, I hear that.
And then you took me on stage.
And then, it's kind of nuts.
And it's kind of like...
you're disrespecting your own family, and I'm disrespecting you for that.
I thought his angle was so sick. He's basically saying, in your family tree, there's no testosterone. He's basically saying, like, look, you can't even defend your brother.
This is the one on the drill beat, right? This is the first one.
Sorry. You delve more into it on the second one. But on the first one, he basically said, I moved at your brother, whatever. And for me, it's kind of like, raw. You're talking that this actually happened, right? And then he said, and then after that, he took me on stage. Now, for me, that level of disrespect,
and when it's got facts to it as well, like you say, which is why ultimately for me, after, a long pause, breath, and a think about it, I think I do have to kind of say Stormzy. But as you said as well, musically, if I'm to actually go and say, right, whose music altogether would I actually prefer to listen to, or whose name would I put more respect on in that way? I don't know how you say it. It would be Wiley. It would be Wiley. You know what I mean?
Like, what dub would you play again? Because this is the other thing. Like, obviously, like I was talking to Harley about it. Harley's not the biggest grime fan. She knows what I want.
Yeah.
But like I was saying to her, I was like, which one just as a song would you? And it was the bop on the Wiley ones, because they to me are more traditional grime, because it's just like
if I'm talking
just as songs, you think
if we're talking songs in terms of how they were put together in terms of a package, I think Stormzy's was a better package. Yeah, and I think as well the reason what Stormzy did, why I kind of rate it more as well, is the fact that Mama put together the visuals as well.
Yeah, they were shot the same day.
Yeah. And bear in mind as well, you got to think as well, like Stormzy, it was literally get ready for it. He just dropped his album. Man was literally he's doing a world tour.
Yeah.
In between these things, he's going to like this morning.
Yeah.
In flip flops and all sorts.
But he's still got time to keep in touch with
and
the streets.
And man still got time to release the dub and do the visuals.
Yeah, for real.
And then go to Hot 97. Like,
and then release and Wiley. You know what I mean? Not sure what he's doing. Not sure what he's doing with himself, but you've got more time on your hands than Stormzy has.
I hear that. Like I don't know. Do you know what it is with I almost feel like history has proven that Wiley is like you can't die. Like, do you know what I mean? Like everyone in grime. It's almost like part of your grime story is how you have to.
Because he did what he did already. You know what I mean?
He just for me, like status. I can think of like some of my Gets is arguably for me probably the best pure grime spitter I've ever heard. I'd say not I've ever heard.
Once you sort his clarity out,
I wouldn't disagree. I would kind of disagree with that.
I'm gonna say I'm all for like Gets on some shit. Like I'm all for it. Like I'm not gonna lie.
My issue with Gets, like, Gets dropped an album last year called something Testament.
Ghetto Gospel, the New Testament.
That album was brilliant.
Have you heard the old one? The old Ghetto Gospel, because it was even the artwork is a flip of the one he did in like 2006 or something like that.
I think I prefer the second one.
Yeah, I to be honest, that one is the one I had like top 3 selected and all them kind of tunes there. It's for
me with Gets, like Gets bar wise is sick.
Yeah,
I just couldn't get through his clarity.
What as in his diction of how he like took like his
it was just too
mad.
like back in the day. It sounded like he was like had a mint imperial in his mouth that was just that was trying to spit. And it was just
preferences, man.
That's
preference.
That's
I would never say
because for me that's almost the
that
opposite.
was like the thing we like.
You know what I mean?
For me,
it was kind of like he's so punctual and stabby with it.
That is quite nuts.
However, his flows have always been sick. It's just like his cadence, like his
my mind's blown. I'm gonna be honest, because just like the whole because even
his clarity was awful.
He would come on a track. Like
maybe it's an artist thing. You know what?
Yeah,
I think maybe he's an MC's MC as well. Probably. I think he's probably that as well. You know what I mean? Because how many MCs really would listen to Gets and not think that you know what?
Yeah,
if I could spit a verse that tight with all of that he just said, you know what I mean, and get that many words in it, and it still come across as it's told the story. It's got the multis in it. How many wee looks would I've given that verse alone? You know what I mean? All of that put together for me is just like wow. I don't know how that is then perceived by someone else that's then maybe not an artist. You know what I mean? If it's different to somebody else's ears listening to it, because as an MC, you then yourself would I've written bars where I kind of do these flippy kind of flows and I understand and you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just wondering, are you saying that since he fixed his teeth? Maybe because I just like Gets, I've seen when I saw you at that rave, I told you, I said, you're the man. So I'm not condoning this shit.
Listen, all I'm saying is, man came up from Turkey with fresh teeth, and now I understand what you're saying. And for me personally, I think his clarity is better, and I think he's one of, like I said, that last album last year is one of the hardest albums of that year for me personally. It was very, very sick.
Yeah. He's a serious artist. Dude.
Yeah, he is a serious.
To me, I got just to give it the praise, man. Freedom of Speech. That album, I think that was the one with the green bandana on the cover.
That was.
It was just like an album full of war dubs. It was just like he just sent
them kind of
them tunes. I was just like, he's untouchable. That's why I'm quite like mind blown with the diction thing, because for me the first tune was a Biggie flip. It was I think Primo did the original one. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, Crack Commandments. Yeah. So he flipped that, and it was like, whoa, how are you gonna make that a grime song? And he kind of like went on like he didn't even go on the drums. He kind of went on just like the sound, like the airy, the string sample. And he was like, I took part in uncountable crimes, but not to look hard. I was out on my grind. Like I was listening to that guy, like, how sharp he is with the tongue. So that's quite mad to me. You're like, I don't know where it clicked. Like, that's quite mad
for
to
me. Even when
like.
I first heard people like him, it's going back again to talk about the difference of how kind of people come into music nowadays. For me, I think the first time I heard or seen Gets was like Risky Roads video.
Sheesh, shout out Rooney, man.
And he's been in videos, but you know,
they're in a white tee. You know what I mean?
Not Risky Roads, but they did. Like, remember back in the day?
Absolutely.
I remember
UGX and all them things. But I'm pretty sure. Rooney, that's the guy's name. I remember because like, when Risky Roads was out, this was like. Must have been just after that era, because I remember grime slowed down a little bit when everyone tried to make them crossovers. You remember like Chipmunk had them like Upsy Daisy. It was like grime was. Do you remember that? Like it was a weird like.
Tinchy Strider time.
Yeah, I remember Logan Sama was like, "Yo, grime is dead" and all this kind of stuff, like because they were doing that shit. Like,
sorry, can I just? No, I want to touch on that though, because people like, for example, like certain artists that are more underground.
For sure.
they crucify people that jumped on the commercial thing. Now, listen. Granted, Upsy Daisy, yeah.
That's terrible.
It was mad, innit? But he was young at the time, though, yeah. And obviously, Chip went on this commercial thing for a while.
Yeah, he had a real journey, didn't he?
Yeah. And then you've got people that do say the same about Stormzy or whatever. Do you blame them, though? Like, in terms of the artist, yeah? Because let's be honest, right? So, say, for example, you've got the opportunity. Like, I feel like Chip was, like, working with, like, Chris Brown, Kelly Rowland. If you got the opportunity to do that, yeah, are you going to do it? Because I think, personally, like, from my point of view, I think certain people that were angry
dissing him
are people that weren't able to get that sort of success. Like,
that's true.
I remember, like, when Chip came back,
to like doing Grime the first time,
Big Nasty was giving him a hard time.
Oh yeah, so you're that guy
he
who
was
did
saying,
that.
blah 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 blah. Yeah, but
because it was almost like he tried to jump lanes, though, innit?
Yeah, no, but
like,
for me, it's kind of like as much as I like Big Nasty, I kind of think you were hating, fam, and you were hating because if you could be up in a video with your top half with Kelly Rowland, you would do that as well. Furthermore, I kind of think that. Now you look at Big Nasty. Now your man's on Channel 4, running around. Good Morning Britain, trying to move on Susanna,
which is essentially
and all them things there. Yeah. And I kind of think you're in that lane now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, so if people are gonna say to you, "Oh, you're not Grime because you're doing this," I kind of think if you've got opportunity, why not?
I think it was definitely a testament to the times, because I remember I was literally talking to you about this earlier. I was like, that 2007, 2008, like the crossover appeal. I mean, I remember Kanye dropped Graduation around these times, and I remember that everything was becoming very synth based at the time, very electronic. I remember Stronger was like the big shit. It was that era. I remember it was
Strider.
it was all like from the top down. It was becoming very much era. That N-Dubs, like, and unfortunately, I feel like what happened was people like Chipmunk, who were getting such a big look from obviously the grime scene and whatnot. When they were presented with those like record deals and stuff, it was like, look, this is what's happening here. Can you get in where you fit in, kind of thing. I feel like, personally, if you're asking me would I do it, it's kind of like I can't really answer that, because for the simple fact that my integrity says, nah, I wouldn't. At the same time, like you said, I wasn't there at the time, because what was quite mad is everybody was attempting that. Some of the most hardcore people. I remember even like D-Block had like some certain tunes. We even liked it. Remember that? I'm just riding in my drop top. It was very electronic. Max B was out. You know what I mean?
You're still trying to hit a different kind of avenue of market in a way. You know what I mean?
It was the can you get a radio record? I remember that was the talk. But what I was going to go on to say was, it was like, for me, it just seems like, okay, so is this are we talking about art, or are we talking about money? Because at the same time, clearly with someone like a Stormzy, I mean, not necessarily now, but what blew him up was Shut Up, which was essentially a classic grime rhythm from way back, and just some new energy on it. So there's a part of me that would go,
you're a little confused.
Well, just a bit like, well, actually, Chip, if you'd have stuck to that, it might have been a slow burn, but I feel like it would have been a lot realer, that transition, because look, what's actually really worked for him is when he came back to doing what he was doing from the first place. So there's a part of me that goes, well, maybe if you were sat there and it's like, well, Nicki Minaj is the biggest artist ever, you need to be like attempting something like that, Jump On Moment for Life or whatever. Maybe you would do that. Me personally, though, I've said to Naya loads of times, I was like, look, bro, the truth is, when we make this music, it is going to be a slow burn, because we're doing that very anti-mainstream. Do you know what I mean? We're doing DJ Fever, sample, drum loop, hard drums, probably not a big chorus. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how we're making music. So, you know, I just feel like the integrity side of it for me would probably make me not do it, regardless of what the people were saying, because I genuinely think people like what they like, and I feel like that was a time when they were like forcing a certain sound because it worked at the very top. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas if you look now, I think, and this has got a lot to do with like Spotify and people being their own DJs and not necessarily listening to what Radio 1's telling you to listen to. Everyone can kind of like find their own lane. Let's say shout out Griselda, like they're doing their own tips. So it's a different era. So if you ask me the question, it's like, well, I can do what I want because I'm in this era where the music's gonna be accessed. You know what I mean? Whereas it weren't that then. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't really know how to answer that. To be honest,
do you think it's easier taking that stance if you're independent though? Because for example, if you end up getting a record deal, like for example, okay, so you look at Rich 32, yeah,
for sure,
he blew off Tractor. Now,
yes.
Tractor.
Yeah, I was feeling Rich before that.
When you think about it, no, but in terms of like, when you think about, when you listen to Tractor, that should not have been a
hit song,
as in the one that really made him.
Listen to the chorus.
Yeah, it's not. It's not even really that.
Like if you listen, it's like
it's very strange. Like
it's just like it's film for film. Film for film.
It's and it's low as well, and it's not even like high in the mix.
Yeah,
either.
it's
you're
just
right.
like there's pure swearing in it. I kind of think like, and even the sound of it, it wasn't really. It shouldn't really have took him where he went.
But it worked.
But it worked. Yeah. Well, I say all this to say that he kind of fell into a record deal then, yeah. Then he started doing his sort of commercial things and that kind of thing. So it's kind of like if you're independent, you can sit there and say, "Yo, I am going to be on this way."
What I want to do. Yeah.
But if you're on a record deal,
But this is sorry now.
I was going to say this is why for me it's almost like in the first place why you've got to kind of have in your mind like what am I setting out to do here? You know what I mean? So there will maybe be questions to ask further along, like, oh, could we work with these people? Could we do that? It doesn't necessarily have to be that, oh, let's get a record deal here and do this and do that. Because as you say, certain people get a record deal and it's right now you have to do this, you have to do that. And as you say, you maybe have no choice over what you can do and your independence is gone, basically. But with obviously working with your label certain times, there's certain things that you're able to take advantage of that other people not working with labels aren't able to take advantage of, you know what I mean? So it's a hard one in certain ways, but it depends what you set out to do. And I always think with certain people then going on to work with other people and making certain tracks that you wouldn't have maybe thought they would make. For me, it's kind of about how do you carry yourself, you know what I mean? Are you then changing your whole persona and your whole character to do this thing and fit something else, basically to get the bag? You know what I mean? Are you stepping out of your body now and acting and doing something else? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because if you planned in the first place to do that, go ahead, do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like if you came
don't
out,
set out like I'm doing me. These are my tunes where I'm putting my life out, my heart out. This is the real me, whatever it is. And then at some point, jump and right. Well, I'm working with these people now, so now I'm gonna kind of just like become a whole different person and change what I do entirely.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're right, and I think. Like again, I have to go back to like, you know, if you talk about when you've got a deal, I think again it's a testament to the times because back then getting a deal was again, like I said, we are aiming for this because if you remember that era we're talking about is MP3 is kind of like we're kind of like moving away from physical sales now. We're trying to figure out like Napster and all that stuff falling. It's like, right, okay, what's the next thing? We just need mass numbers. At the time would have been radio spins and stuff because we're trying to figure out it needs to be more digital than back then. But like I say, now if you're presented with a deal, creative control is really important these days. Like what you'll find is a lot of people that when you're approached with a deal, they kind of just they're not really asking you for a sound. What they're asking you for is a complete package. A label don't want to go. Well, they might, but like from my experience, I can tell you that the label doesn't go right. Okay, so when you sign with us, we've got you this producer. You have to make this kind of sound. No, they're going. Yo, what's your social media saying? Are you already a polished thing? Can we just go push it as it is and it does its numbers? Like,
because the money into it, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a completely different era almost.
This is my issue with record labels right now. Not to kind of badmouth anyone that's on the record label, but my theory on record labels is I don't think there's a need for them now.
There isn't.
Because if you look back in the day when people had record labels, there was art development. So
they don't exist.
It was literally you would find someone who's a raw talent, then you'll polish them, work with them, get media trained, get performance trained,
live stuff, studio stuff, all of that.
Work with different producers, just polish them, and when they're ready, when they're released,
it'll be like ready for the world.
A polished artist,
yeah.
Nowadays, what basically happens is that, for example, one of your guys' tracks could pop, and then social medias go wild, like the songs everywhere,
Yeah, we want the song.
Labels come knocking,
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, we love the song. Let's do it. Let's do a deal or whatever. And they want you to replicate what you did last time, right? So what then happens is they want to ride the wave that you've already created.
Exactly.
So then what then happens then is that they push you everywhere. Now these times now you've just done a track in your bedroom, released it. It's like, whoa, like this is all wild, So then what then happens is they push you out and do all these random performances,
Absolutely.
Like, and then you're not ready.
No, at all. I mean,
you're not ready for the big time yet because you need some time to
but
kind
that
of.
bedroom song has clicked somehow, and
they want to rinse that as much as they can
before
while it's hot.
And then it's kind of like, okay, so we want you then to replicate this thing. And then it literally, when they're done with you, and say the buzz kind of dies down, they get rid of you.
Dropped,
my thing is this, like, if you've already created this buzz, you've done it by yourself, you've created the buzz, you've made the track.
Why can't you maintain it
Probably
yourself?
paid the producer, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whether you produce it yourself or whatever. Like, you've basically got the finished product, You've basically made yourself pop by doing the work.
Yep.
And now a label jumps on the bandwagon.
And to attach to it.
Exactly.
You just almost giving your work to somebody else.
But what is it that they can do for you?
It's literally like, money? Well, but to be honest, it's not even really money because advances now are ridiculously low because no one's really got money. But also, like, you have to pay that back, and you know, if you can't, obviously they write it off and whatnot. But your career essentially is stained, isn't it? But so what's quite mad is, like, going back to what you said, it's like, it just seems now that a label doesn't really care to make stars. They're looking for numbers and can they attach advertisement to it. Like, you know what I mean? What happens is these kids will make a song in their bedroom, the song blows up, and it's like, we'll sign him because it's his intellectual property, but essentially...
we'll just sign the song.
Well, they can't really do... They can try, but like what's going to happen is they'll sign him, and they'll even make him make an album. And the album will probably flop, but that one song, that single will be attached to the streaming numbers, so they get their numbers, and you know what I mean. It's weird because they're not like trying to mold people from the ground up, and that's why you get people like what's her name, that Summer Walker girl. Like she really good. Like
she's not
but
ready.
Man, like, I've been watching. I say shout out to JB, shout out to Joe Budden. I've been watching his podcast, and he's like just been like not rinsing her, but like they've been going this back and forth thing of she seems really uncomfortable because her songs have popped because she's just a young girl doing a thing, and she's got like really bad like social anxiety. So the idea that you're gonna put her on stage in front of
they've not worked on any of
like,
that stuff which they really need to work on before putting it out there in front of these people, because like you say, artists and that we can all in our bedroom record this, record that, but if you've got, like you say, depression, anxiety, whatever it is, you're gonna struggle to just step from your bedroom to step onto a stage.
But a main stage as well.
And if the label, like you say, is then put you on the main stage and there's 10,000 people now you got to do that in front of, then that obviously can become a problem. And
and that's the thing, to your point, we talk about anxiety, that sort of thing, is like, for example, my theory is this new generation, it's gonna be more prominent in this generation because it's the internet era.
Absolutely.
So, like, for example, my era and probably your guys' era as well was sort of like, well, kind of when we were born, the internet wasn't really there, but then we were kind of like, we had it without it, and then we sort of grew into it. Bolt Blue Days, all them things there, okay, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know them ones there, so it's kind of like we were kind of born into it, so we know what life was like without it. Whereas you've got like this generation now where it's kind of like they were born into the internet era, so then their social skills are
they're insane.
Like,
but
they'll
then,
see man on road, not saying nothing,
and crumble,
and then
but
go back home and say, "Yo, good see you in town." Fam, you didn't say hello to me, though, fam. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
and that's what it's like nowadays. That's what I mean, and that's how I say things have changed.
It's a different time now. So if you think about people there, that they're not used to being around people socializing, it's more so online. So if you put them, say an artist who's born into that era, who's not used to, who's just used to just like put out music, you know, online or whatever, and then it blows up.
It's mental.
They're already anxious about being.
But the label don't care to like take that into consideration. It's like just push the thing.
It's because there's no artist development. It's because you grab somebody and because something's popped off, and they're in a position now where their fans want to know who they are. They want to know everything about them. They want to know, oh, why you need to be on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's make you got a blue tick on your
And the label's got the money to go, right, let's do that and push it forward and
they
get
want
you
to know,
out
oh,
there.
tell me about yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's
take
weird
some photos.
because that's
and
still
like,
a
I don't
human
really
who's
want
not.
this.
Yeah, for sure.
World tour. It's like, yo, I'm not even on it.
Yeah, it's like my first song I've ever made. Like,
and then you're on
crazy.
stage like,
And that's when you really see how obviously, you know, just money orientated a lot of it can be, you know what I mean? And which obviously you can't take away, I guess, the money from it altogether and say, right, this is not important, let's not have this, because obviously it is. And at the end of the day, yes, although we do music because we love it, we do want to make a living from music, you know what I mean? So, but to exploit, as you say, people in certain ways.
Just the truth is, bro, it's because the internet and like digital, the streaming stuff, it changes every 2 years. There's even shorter than that, there's like a new way it's all calculated.
Something
and stuff
different. Some way different. You got to find your music.
So whatever they catch on, it's like just rinse it until it dies, because we're gonna get told there's a next thing that how music's consumed, and they're kind of clocked onto that. But going back to what you were saying about the generational gap thing, I was talking to shout out Pete Firstblood. We were having this conversation about like the different generations of like people with the internet. I don't know. Do you know about like the baby boomers and Generation X and all that? Like, we was like really going into that and stuff, and we were talking about like I think we'd be Generation Y, I believe. Like you said, we know a time pre-internet, but we've also like excelled with it as well. But then the generation below is like the Generation Z, which is the digital natives, and it's like there's no concept of it not being an everyday thing. Like I've got a little brother. I think he'd be like 9 now. I think, yeah, like half brother, he'd be like 9. I remember a couple of years ago having a conversation with him about Super Mario, and I just on a random one, I just pulled out my Super Nintendo and I went, "Yo, look, this is the first Mario." Looked me dead in the eye and said, "No, it's not." I was like, "Sorry, what?" And he was like, no, that's not. This is Mario. I'm like, "Yeah, this is what came before." He's like, "Not a chance." He's like, "Where's the Wi-Fi router?" Like literally, this kid's like 7. He's like, "What do you mean? There's no internet. How does it even work?" And it's just like, it's just mad to me, because it's like
it's the same with my kids. And seeing that every day, obviously, with technology and things like that. You know what I mean? Or whether it's a tune that's now come out on the latest film. It's there's this tune that's come out. No, it's not just come out. That came out like when my dad was young. You know what I mean?
This is my fear as well, because I've literally like I've got a 4-year-old, and I remember buying, when it was a baby, I remember buying like Transformers, the whole series box set, because I was a huge Transformers.
What, the cartoon from the 80s? Yeah, sick.
So I remember like buying that, and I was like, yo, when he's of age,
I'm gonna bring him in, like,
and I'm worried because I'm gonna put it on, and it's gonna be like,
yo, this is trash.
This is I'm gonna have to throw him out, and this is the thing, and I don't want to have to do that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm a bit fearful. It's been sitting there, DVD. I don't think you know what a DVD is.
Ready for it. A disc is gonna be irrelevant.
And he's gonna be like, "Oh, Daddy, I don't want this one."
Why am I watching it? Like the old film is CGI, and that's amazing. So you're definitely not gonna like.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I kind of actually did that same test recently. You know, Christmas just came obviously, and for the kids, I got I brought back the Pogs.
Yeah.
And the Go-Go's, innit?
Yeah.
I thought to myself,
to anyone under
like
18 listening to this, you might as well just like tune out for
real,
a minute.
but yeah,
You should have gone all in and got Tamagotchi as well.
Oh, yeah, the Tamagotchis as well, for real. But how many of those did you leave dead because you didn't feed them?
Listen, I remember
all of them.
We sound like dinosaurs right now, bro.
But for real, yeah, the old school toys, man, for real, man. But the kids love them still. They love them, man. So I'm glad for that. Didn't have to throw them out.
You know what they need to bring back? And this is just a random thing, but like I was thinking about it the other day. You know, I'm sure you guys know as parents, like, you know, like the slime's really in at the minute. Like, do you remember those aliens that you could throw against the wall? Like, they need to come back, because that would be like a good thing. Like, as far as marketing's concerned, that's not a far cry from the. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be a good, like, if I had a youth.
They do the little stretchy men still. Every so often, the kids come back from school with a stretchy man, like if they've got like 50 stickers or something like that.
Men, they're sticky.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's just like, and you're afraid to get seen, it never comes down.
Mad.
It's like, mad. Shifting gears though, like obviously, like both your two partners rap. Oh no, rap, you sing. So obviously, you're with the talented Harley Blue. You're with the talented Rhino Cocaine. So like,
indeed.
What's it like being around? Because I'm personally like I'm an energy person, so it's like I like being around creative people.
For sure.
So what's it like being around someone who is creative like you, in the sense of, especially in the same sort of field? Like, does it give you that extra bit of drive kind of thing to kind of put some vibe? Is it like competitive? Like, what's the vibe?
Well, I mean, for me, and with my now fiance Trisha, shout out, love you, babe. You know what I mean? Wedding soon come. Yeah. I mean, the way that we met anyway in the first place, it already was kind of, it had that musical element to it anyway. So I mean, it wasn't necessarily even a thing to where kind of, we was together and, we both make music, or let's start and do a little something together. We kind of already gelled in that way before, you know, the then friendship then even blossomed into something else, you know what I mean? So we already knew, obviously, from the start that we was going to be musically involved, because straight away it was, all right, let's link up, make a tune, do this, that, and the other. I think there was Snenton festivals and that kind of thing that she used to do every year before I knew her anyway. So straight away, obviously, she got me on that with her, jumped in a couple of her peoples and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was always great just to be around creative people straight away that want to do the same kind of thing, whether it's bands playing live, whether it's people with the grime music, with the hip hop, and you know, it's all just vibes, energy, like you say, and the music. I've always loved it, so it's always been good for me. So yeah, what about you, Ty?
It's quite mad because it's kind of like the opposite, really. Like, so obviously, I think, you know, unless you've been hiding under a rock, I think everyone pretty much knows who Harley Blue is and what she's done. So again, I'm talking like I don't know her, but yeah, shout out to you. But like, yeah, so for me and her, it was kind of like coming into it, like, I mean, jeez, I'm just sound like a sap now. I've had an eye on her. I've had an eye on her for a while. Like, you know how it goes. So I was like, all right.
Got your woman.
But like, for whatever reason, with nothing from back in there, because we're talking like what, the first time. I mean, oh god, I can't be able to tell this on the air. So, all right, in like 2010, 2011 was when I was like, all right, I'm Nottingham musician. I'm gonna do this properly. I did little bits here and there, but that's when I was like, all right, cool. When I met Tom the first time, I was like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm here. He did an album, like a community project, and she was on it, and I was like, oh, this sounds nice. Who's this Jill Scott chick? Like, you know what I mean? So I didn't know her at that point, and I remember they did like this launch event for this album, and at this point I was like, yo,
was this the Black Sheep album?
Black Sheep album.
This is hard as well. Black Sheep, go cop that, people.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can anymore, but yeah, they'll be away. But anyway, yes, and I seen her, and I was like, whoa, like, okay, I like her. This is like mad old, and I don't know, I froze. You know, like, you just think, I'm going to game this. Bear in mind, I'm a youngin', I'm like, I'm about to drop something. She needs to know.
Yeah. I'm a buy in these streets.
You know what I mean? It really wasn't even that, bro. It was some of the driest game. It was like on some, like, yo, I walked up to her. I think she, like, come off stage. She was doing, like, a little set or something. And I went, nice hair. Dead, like, you know, like the blonde dreads. It's like, yeah, I bet she never heard that before. She kind of went, thanks, and just dipped. It was like, yeah, flop that. Yeah. So that was kind of that. But then I went on holiday about like 6 years later or something like that. And I ain't gonna lie, man, it was all inclusive. I was on the pina coladas. I was feeling good. I was single. I was like, yo, it was like 10 in the morning. I had my cousin's son in my lap, and I was like, I was on my phone. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just drop this girl a message. And I wrote something which, you know, I'll just skip over what I said. But it was along the lines of, listen,
some spoken word to.
Yo, bro, it was on some,
your eyes.
I was a bit cooler than that.
Tried to undress her with the words.
Or some love Jones. I got Love Jones for your body in your
When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall.
I hear my conscience call.
No, I dropped it on some like, yo, listen, this is what it is, yeah. If I'm single and you're single by the time we're 40, we're getting married. Like, you know, you're just on one of them cornball lines.
I like that energy.
I was just like, yo, listen, I'm just gonna say it. I was thinking, I'll shoot you at my shot. She's probably gonna air it. She comes back with the, okay, but why wait till we're 40? I was like, nearly dropped the U. I was like, yo. I was like, so I waited until I got back, and then we spoke, and then blah blah blah. But really though, on the music side of it, like, I was always a fan of her music, like, and you know that goes beyond attraction. Like, just as you know, with someone with ears, it's like she was always dope. She was always quite a big fan of her First Blood, the band, obviously, and I kind of was like a late addition to that. But then she kind of knew who I was, kind of thing. But it was weird because like, I was quite conscious of, I could quite imagine, because she's got quite a lot of status and she's doing quite a lot. I mean, it'd be very easy for like someone to be on the music chirps tip on some, yo, listen, we'll link in and yo, we'll do a track together. And you know what I mean? I was quite like, nah, I like you as a person. Like, I'd quite like to, we both do music and blah, blah, but but who is Harley? Like, do you know what I mean? Who are you really, kind of thing? And then we kind of like bonded on that. And if we ever work on music, it's only like more like I'll do like some of her music videos and her visual kind of stuff, because I feel like once you start like making songs together, the criticalness of it will probably come in and be like, right, okay, I need this, and I just want to be a fan of it. You know what I mean? I want.
In fact, I see
like,
one of her videos. Actually.
Yeah, in the Queen Them video. Yeah, that was amazing.
And you made the one on the, what was it, the Goose Fairy?
Yeah, so the fluffy video.
The fluffy one.
Yeah, man.
So
for real. That's the one that got the funding to then do stuff like the Queen Them video. But again, that was like when we were quite early on in the relationship. I was like, yo, listen, like, you've got this EP, like, we should just do a video. Now we've got a camera, let's just go film it now. She's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, let's just go do it. Because it's like, you kind of have to like put it in your own hands, like get stuff moving. And from we did that, it then started becoming bigger and better. So I was always kind of like, I always like help her with that stuff, and she's more like an advisor. You know what I mean? Like, she'll show me like what funding to apply for, or like, oh well, when I put this out, make sure I post it at this. Like, she's kind of helps me with that. But as far as like collabing with music, I don't know. She's my girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? It's like I kind of like that. That's our relationship rather than. We're not Cardi B and Offset, you know what I mean? Like, like I would almost like it to be a case of, if we were gonna do songs together, it'd be a case of we're both high in stature. I'm not saying it's like I'm like trying to catch up to her or anything like that, because I want her to be what she is and stuff. But like I almost feel like it would make more sense if me and Nay do what we're doing, and then we and that, because that's like what we're on. Do you know what I mean? And we're very much a hip hop group. You know what I mean? It'd be cool to have some like singing choruses and whatnot, but it's gotta make sense. Do you know what I mean? And right now I'm doing stuff with him, so it's like this is what I'm doing. So I'm not really like pushing her to like get in the studio with me, when really and truly now what she's gonna be doing is, you know, she's gonna be out in the States. She just came back from Nashville and Los Angeles. She's been doing stuff with like Jay Dilla's brother. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, so I'm like, yo, what? I'm gonna be like, no, you can't do that. You need to be, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah. So I want her to just keep going there, and then if she gets through the door, we all get through the door. So yeah, it's not to long out the answer, but yeah, that's I kind of like, I put our relationship as a couple before we talk about music. That'll come in time, I'm sure. You know what I mean? But for now,
we'll fall into place. Fall into place. Yeah,
that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, man, for real.
Like you two, I think, because you're quite a versatile artist as well.
Oh, thank you.
I think like the music you will make will be sick.
Yeah, for sure.
Fully sick.
I mean, we've got a couple of things where like the other day we played this beat. She was like, yo, you know, maybe this could be. I was like, keep that in a separate folder. You know what I mean?
Streets want it, man. The streets want it.
And I was gonna say, even for me and Trisha, it's kind of like a bit of both. You know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, we started off making music, doing the gigs together, and that kind of thing. You know, we've got a mixtape which we made together, Living La Vida Loco. If you've not already heard that, then go and download that from the Bandcamp. But then, you know, we've both branched off separately and done separate gigs. You know what I mean? We'll go to nights where we'll both be performing, and we'll be performing separately. We'll go to nights where we're both performing and we're performing together. You know what I mean? It's not always a together thing. You know what I mean? It's not always a solo thing. We do it how we like. Make tunes here, make tunes there. You know what I mean? We've got Courts over here in the background. This has been putting in plenty of work with Courts. You know what I mean? With Thieves as well. We're popping up and doing some work with now as well. So yeah, man, it's just good to everyone just keeps it working. You know what I mean? And whether it works for you to, you know what I mean, with the missus, not with the missus. You know what I mean? It all falls into place. However you like it, that's what's important. There you go. We're all pushing each other to be the best that we can be, and to, you know, reach them higher places. You know what I mean? And we do what we can for each other. Yeah, man.
That's the thing, isn't it, man? I think like I said, being around energy and being around creatives and stuff. I think like I said, you feed off each other in different ways, kind of thing. Absolutely. So like, I guess like you two made tracks together and them sort of things, and obviously with you and Harley, it's like she's kind of like gearing you and kind of, let's say, not this direction. And this is what kind of things are available to you, and that sort of thing. Do you ever get like competitive when you're on like a track or anything? Like, yo, who's got? I mean,
because you're both MCs, so I imagine there's got to be.
Veronica's hard. Yeah. I've seen her. She's hard. So
you know what? I wouldn't say. Well, I guess in a way, with any time that you're on a track with anybody else on it, there's always a thing of, you know, you have hopefully, you already have a high respect and appreciation and opinion of the person that you're working with. Therefore, you know that what you put down has also got to be some of your best work, you know what I mean? It's not something that you can just jump up and, I'm just doing this to kind of fling it away. So there's already a bit of, right, I do obviously want to make sure that, you know, my verse shines and that it's nice and people like it. But I wouldn't necessarily say a personal thing of, I want to be seen as better as this person or that person, because a song as well, when you think about it, a song has to work together. You know what I mean? A song is not a battle. It's not a clash. So I'm not gonna come on after Ty or come on after Veronica and then do something to almost try and show.
Whack now. I'm about to show you how to do it.
I wasn't even going to say something that specific, but even something to maybe outline, he could have done this better, and I'm showing you that, look, I'm doing it now. You know what I mean? You work together and you pull out each other's strengths.
I will say, though, I definitely think with our stuff, there's definitely, like, you can hear, like, if you've heard us separately and stuff, you can hear, like, I think our best attributes of each other, we've both kind of seen and gone, okay, you do that. Like, maybe, like, you're like a 99 and I'm a 98. I'm up that now. And vice versa, you know what I mean? And I feel like we definitely have pushed each other. And it's like, it's mad now, like how we make songs and stuff, because it's not like a competition, because we do what's the best thing for the song, but there's no ego. You know what I mean? That's what's cold about it. It's like, I feel no way if I've said to Nate before, even on our album, when we did the outro, he smoked it, like, to the point where I was like, yo, delete my verse. Like, he said everything that needed to be said. Let's make it more punchy. I've got a little, he just kind of summed up everything, because the song was more about, like, what we've been talking about, actually. It's about, like, you know, being an independent artist and, like, just the graft of to keep pushing and stuff. And, like, I think I did like 2 versions of it. I did, like, one that I was like, all right, yeah, that would work. When I heard this, I was like, nah, scratch that. And in the end, we just kept, I think it was the first 4 bars of yours, because it really worked well with it. So it was kind of like, we don't need the rest of the verse, but that 4 bar starts it really well. So put that in there. And was like, it introed him of what he was going to say, because he summed it up, and that then became the outro of the album. And I'm not so, like, caught up on it, like, he's got an extra verse than me on the whole thing, because it's better for the song. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's important when you get to that level of chemistry, when you can be, you know what I mean, like, really honest and go, all right, what makes the song the best? Because, you know, we're not on a slaughterhouse tip now. So.
Yeah. But I've heard some of the tracks, so you sent me a couple of tracks before,
sure.
And
nice.
I'm liking the sound, man.
Thank you, man.
Like, it's a good collision of the 2 styles.
Yeah.
So you do quite a lot of sample-based stuff as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
and I love that kind of stuff.
For
And
sure.
I think, like, there's some good sample-based stuff in there. There's like
for
a good mix of rings. Like, I really like, it's a corner shot.
Corner shot, man. That, you know what's mad about that? So this guy, I actually don't want to be rude and forget his name, but his name's the Meat Cheat on Instagram. Yeah. But he works with, like, the Nottingham City Council. You know, down at what do you call it? You know, Broadmarsh. You know, they're doing all that, the construction around there and stuff. Yeah. So they're doing, like, a mural now, like, and it's gonna be like I think it's like a tree, and it's gonna have, like, leaves branching off, and it's gonna be, like, having, like, quotes from, like, creatives and writers and stuff. And they asked me and Nate to have, like, some of our stuff on that thing. And we've got the corner shop lyrics on our branch of the tree kind of thing. So yeah, that song, it's mad how that's taken off, because, you know, it's a very British, you know, the corner shop thing. The producer, though, is from Michigan.
The RJ,
that's RJ. Shout out RJ.
From the Yak.
RJ from the Yak. Like, so that kid, he's really young as well. He's such a G. Instagram.
That beat's hard.
Instagram.
Yeah,
literally, I was on YouTube, and I was like, I think I searched, like, currency type beats or Wiz Khalifa type beats or something.
It's very flowy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like that cloudy kind of sound. And I clicked on that one. I think I was just going through, like, I'm not going to say it on here, but I had, like, a little process to, like, how I'm going to go through the YouTube beats. I was like, rather than going for the ones with, like, 5 million views, I'm going to go, like, like 7 pages back, you know what I mean?
Further down in the crates, isn't it?
Found that one. And I was like, yo, this is hard. So I just YouTube ripped it. And initially, I was like, yo, this is the beat. And I think, did we even record it rough? I don't even think we did.
I don't think we recorded that one rough. We just wrote to it.
Yeah, but I think I sent the kid on Instagram like a clip of me and him spitting the bars. And he was like, yo, I'll send you that now.
Yeah, we need this.
And he literally was like, yo, you can have the track, because normally them like YouTube instrumentals, they kind of like, yo, £20 to lease it, or $20, whatever. He was like, nah, this is hard. You guys take that. He's like, I can't believe me from Michigan can make a beat that somehow you've made a very British. Do you know what I mean? Like he was like, he was quite like miffed for that, and
excited,
I think that was sick.
Internet.
The internet, mate.
Serious.
There you go. Childish, yeah, man. And like, and to be honest with you, there's quite a few beats on this first album, which, by the way, drops on the 2nd of February, so that's very soon. Don't know if this will be out by then.
2 Shades Deep.
Yeah, 2 Shades Deep.
Where's that
so that's the one that, because of the samples, we couldn't get it on the digital stream. So what it's going to be is it's going to be on our website as like an exclusive to the site. So when you go on localhealers.co.uk, it'll be there. Obviously, there's going to be links like Bandcamp and stuff, but initially you can go on the site, you can listen to it there, you can stream it on the website, and then you can, like, obviously if you want to donate to pay for it, and you can download it to have it yourself as well. But yeah, there's like a few producers that they're all from just me on the gram going, yo, cause this is sick, can I use this kind of thing?
Networking. That's why, and where the internet, as I say, is a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? Because you can really reach out to a lot of people in that way, you know what I mean? So there's been good, there's been bad with it. But yeah, as I say, that project, the first one that we did, I think quite a few of the beats actually came from the same kind of thing, just kind of reaching out to people from here, there, and everywhere, people that have got the same kind of love for it, and we've just put in that work and work together, and there's the sound. So yeah, can't wait to put it out now. As you said, 2nd of Feb, we're there, man.
2nd of Feb, man.
That's big. But what I like as well, that about the tracks I heard, is you guys are bringing content back as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, from the track, like, the track called Afro on there as well.
Yeah, man, that's my shit. I ain't even got a throw anymore, but yeah, man, I've got the dreads now. But
even in terms of like what you're talking about, in terms of like talking to the youth, and just there's a lot of content there, which I think now is definitely needed.
I think so, and I think for me, like, I've never been the guy to be like, oh, you can only make conscious rap. That's the only, like, you know, because I know there's a lot of people that kind of like, you're either one side or the other. You're on like the crud, or you're on the, you know, the more, you know, peace and love Africa, all that kind of shit. Like, for me, I've always been someone who kind of walks in both worlds, and clearly so is Nay. So what I really like about the music is it appeals to both sides, you know what I mean? I don't think you have to be so into, like, let's say, like Talib Kweli and Mos Def to understand what we're doing here with kind of stuff less. And that's why, like, I don't know, man. I think that's why the local healers thing is unique, because it is quite like content heavy, but at the same time, I don't think it's preachy. I think it's somehow still vibey enough. Like, for me, like the bounce on songs like Corner Shop and stuff, if you weren't even paying attention to the lyrics, it still got that MP mix on the corner shop. It's got that like that jump to it, you know. So yeah, I think that's important, to where you can drop the knowledge, but almost like camouflage it in still being a good vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's important.
People understand that, like, people are not just one thing. Like, I remember seeing a Talib Kweli interview, and he's basically saying, look, everyone assumes that I'm just a conscious guy.
He's like, I'm really not.
Like, granted, like, I do like
a lot of that
music
stuff
is geared towards that world, that way. But I like big batties, I like street clubs, and I like this. I like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like you can't just put people in the box.
Yeah,
like,
it's what you choose to depict and rap about. There you go.
Because I can listen to all sorts. Like, I can listen to like Pusha talking about selling crack, and then I can listen to Drake crying about some chick. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of
like,
you know, we're all complex beings. So it's kind of like, just because, you know, one person shouldn't have to be put in a certain box to, you have to, okay, you made a song like that. So
you have to like be that guy every day.
It's all art at the end of the day, innit? And people can create what they, you know, want to create, and then other people will interpret it how they want to interpret it. So that's it. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about art. It's open to that.
I think with our stuff, you can kind of tell, because like the songs, like, they're quite subject matter based as well. You know what I mean? Like, 1 minute you do have a song like Afro, which is talking about, you know, how black people, you know, like how our hair needs to be respected more, and it's not something you can just touch because you're fascinated by it. But then at the same time, we've got songs like Summers Don't Last Long, which is like, to me, just a barbecue pit song. You know what I mean? It's like that.
More vibes.
I think Fever really added to that as well, because when we linked up with him, listen, I'm saying he's coming back. Like, I don't want to air out his business, but he sent me some stuff the other day where it's like, I'm thinking about doing an instrumental tape, and I was like, I beg you don't, just let me have them beats, because I was like, some flames coming this way. But like, even him, like, I mean, I'm not gonna tell him like, the big project we're working on just yet, but like, how I was talking to him, it was like he kind of really liked like just like the spitting, like, like sometimes where it's not so subject heavy and stuff. So sometimes he'll put a beat on, me and Neil just be like, let's just rap, like, you know what I mean? Like there's that too as well. So like, it's just really diverse, and it just keeps growing, isn't it? So.
Yeah, we want to really keep all elements of it, like we say. I mean, I think we both realise that we both are kind of first and foremost conscious rappers, you know what I mean? Sure. So we have a lot to say, you know what I mean? And we touch on subject matters, and we're strongly opinionated, and we feel that through music, putting a lot of those opinions out there is a good way to do it, through your music and being able to show those emotions and those feelings. So that's something that we've always liked to do. But as I say, when you're going, for example, and doing a show, we don't want to necessarily give people too much of what sometimes can be seen as, I'm getting real deep messages here after message, and it's all kind of getting me in a certain mind frame. When people are out, they still want to dance, they still want to move, they still want to have a good time. So you've got to kind of, almost as a DJ would, you ride a different wave throughout your show, you know what I mean? So you've got to produce music and create music that caters for that as well. So although it's all still us, there is some music which is a lot more listen to the lyrics, listen to what I'm saying. And then there's other music which is, as you say, probably a bit less of listen to the lyrics and really just vibe out and have some fun with it, rock with it, feel my flows, feel my energy. And when it comes round to that hook that you can catch after hearing the first time, then sing it with us, you know what I mean? So we just like to ride that wave with them and take them on that ride with us.
All right, so what can people expect in 2020 from the local healers?
So I said, again, like I said off mic, like, for me, I said to Nay, like, about maybe 6 months ago, I was like, look, if we do it this way, where we stack up so much content, that the day we say, right, all right, and it would be, I guess, this album, to be like, okay, we're here, like, because we've obviously last year I think we did like shows all the way through summer with unreleased music, and did like so many gigs and stuff. Even at Christmas, we did like an hour set, didn't we? Like, with unreleased music, and people vibe to it and stuff.
Shout out Motormouth.
Shout out to Exact. And that's because we've got so much stacked up in the catalogue now. So when we launch, like, in my mind, it's like we're not taking the foot off the pedal. I said to you off mic, I wanted to do like, I want us to be the best visual artist. I'm gonna even shoot for in the UK, because like with people like Mike helping us with the filming and editing, some of the I showed you that little clip in it, like that's even that's one scene, one shot for 1 hour, and it's like, and it looks like that. So I could just imagine, down the line, like, because we've got like 3 videos ready. So like once we drop that one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one, and like I said, it will be a slow burn, but it's gonna be one that you will literally watch it grow, because at no point are we gonna slow down doing this. We just wrote a new tune today.
For real, man. We just keep it moving, and in between all of that as well, we are, we're normal people as well. We both work 30 to 40 hour weeks. You know what I mean? So we come home from work, and then we've still got the drive and the passion to put this work in, and that's for me really what it's all about. As I say, that drive and the passion and the love for the music. And for me, it's the artist that can really allow that to show and shine throughout their work, that translates to me and makes me kind of, again, fall in love with the music and with the game. And that's where it's at for me, and I hope that I can in some ways do that to other fans out there, you know what I mean, by coming together with Ty and us really having a good time, but helping others to have that same experience, man, and get on it. So 2020, man, big things coming. Like you say, we've got the one we're about to drop that's going on the website. Videos are lined up, ready to go. There's other tracks, other projects ready to go, and we're just going to keep working as well. So
stuff we can't even say right now, and I want to, but it's like, just know 2020, mate, and just know Fever. If he wasn't already here, he's definitely back in a big way. So
Fever,
that's the boy right there.
All right, so plug the website again.
Okay, so it's www.zombies Was that a minute? I think I said too many W's, but anyway, localhealers.co.uk. We got the domain now, so it's all us. And as soon as you go on there, you get a brand new exclusive video that's not even released. You get like our documentary we filmed. We've got other music videos on there. We've got like reviews from the gigs. You got like all the social media link. Literally, like the website is the hub now. So obviously, like you say, it's Local Healers on Twitter and Facebook, all them things. But if you just go on localhealers.co.uk, it's so easy to navigate everything from there. You know.
Okay.
So that's
Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Twitter,
it's all
of that. It's all on there. So jump on there and you can find us both, find the music and download that, have a good listen, and then you're going to get flooded with more and more stuff. So if you've not already got into some Thai healing, Local Healers music, you want to start now because you're going to have to catch up if you're if you're not listening yet.
Want to Griselda it. That we both kind of agreed that it was like, yo, see how they just drop. Like you can't ignore it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like the fact that
dope as well.
for real, you can subscribe to that website, by the way. So if you go to the very bottom, you can get on the mailing list as well. So you'll be sent exclusives whenever it does drop as well. So yeah,
I'll put the website in the description.
Appreciate it, bro.
So
Nice, man. Nice.
Everyone can kind of like see when it's dropping, them sort of things there. Man, then thanks for coming through, man.
Yo, bless up.
It's been good, man. It's been nice. It's been good to catch up and that.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Just see what's going on in 2020. My mind's still going by that the name flip.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That is. I hadn't even thought about
the maddest part about that is that weren't even like it weren't like something we thought of straight away. For a minute, we were like, yo,
we were trying to come up with something, trying to force something, weren't we? And then that one just kind of fell out the sky, landed on Ty's head, and then you know what I mean.
I
was
thought you
just
were
like,
gonna say something like, "Yo, man," I was like on Columbus Street, man. And
my local dealer.
This local person had like a broken arm in it. I spat a hot 16 in it, and the arm just kind of like cleared up in it. You're like in the
that did happen.
funny you should say that.
They're like in the Wu-Tang Triton video when like Jesus rapping and the guy blind is like giving side to the blind.
Your arm will be fixed through the powers of lyricism.
Yo, that was there. But it's been good catching up and that, man. So
I think Nate should bless us with a 2020 verse to see it out. Put him on the spot.
That 2020 vision.
If you want to drop it,
we give him a little something. All right then. Let's way too balmy shit. Territorial army shit, yo. My bars are like guns shooting banana clips. I move mountains with words, Barack Obama-ish. Face Coco, I'm Negro, I'm Nate Loco. I'm out here, there's no swings and roundabouts here. Robin Hood's men's got tings, they pull them out here. Blow, clear the room, methods of doom. Rip a rapper from his flesh, down a howl at the moon. You don't know me, roll my spliffs like cannelloni. Sip Peroni, walk streets like Shinobi, ninja style.
Even the sun goes down, heroes eventually die. Horoscopes often lie, that's why I'm weighing up the weed on my Libra scales. Highs, balance, lows, I don't know, I suppose life's a talent show. On the tightrope I straddle, so I don't Geronimo and Vaminos unless I'm exiled to an owl like Galapagos and planting a new home where the plantain and the mango grow, you know. Nay and me be 2 shades deep. We're rough around the edges like the
granary bread is.
I plant the seeds for the next branches off the tree, cause the future is not what it used to be. I mean, back in the day I used to watch Takeshi's Castle. Today 6ix9ine's going away in the shackles. Stupid, and it's all for that internet fame. But if you look at his name, he was fucked either way. And there's so many examples of the yellow brick road, the path to success in exchange for your soul. This is Nina Simone and Sierra Leone. Why? It's real music with the jewels in. This type of beat should be on YouTube looped over while I'm practicing my Kundalini yoga. Cause Tai's Chi could use a little Tai Chi. I need to change the feng shui, it's too funky. We say peace, 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 peace.
Hey, hard. I need to drop something that. The sun don't shine forever.
I was just like, yo, he's about to
It's still shining. It's still shining, man. It's still shining. It's still shining. I know I messed up on them, guys. I'm sorry for it. But believe me, we got heat for you coming. We got that coming.
Nate has pushed me to a next level with the lyrics, man. Like, I gotta respect him because, like I say, when we first hooked up, I was like, "Oh, this little bastard, he's cooking." He's like, he's the piranha boy. I was like, yo, I gotta like make sure, like, you know what I mean, we just keep taking it like to, you know, heights beyond heights. So yeah, watch out for more because, like I said, that's light compared to what's actually coming. So You know?
Yo, looking forward to the project, man. Everyone check
man,
that when
same.
it drops. I'll put the website in the description as well, so everyone can check
the merch is there too. Actually, we should have brought this. We've got some like pin
we've
badges
got
and
the
some
badges
stuff.
is ready for them. You know what I mean? Got the local healers' faces up there, so if you want to walk
Got the
around
hoodie
town,
as
with
well.
faces on you. You know what I mean?
hoodie's hot
Tight
still.
sporting the hoodie
Sick,
right
man.
now. So yeah, all of that's gonna be out there for you real soon.
Is it on the website as well? Yeah, to copy.
It will be because we need to find a place where we can like mass print and where it's not extortion but still quality. You know what I mean? Because these are cool, but like these are like, you know, you pay 20 quid at a time. You know what I mean? So when we get the quality right, then they'll come. But for now, the badges are here and they're hard. So yeah, subscribe, you get a badge. So yeah. Man.
All right, man. Again, big up for coming through.
Yo, thank you for having as well. Shout out you, Courtney, as well.
Yeah,
No
man,
problem,
real respect, man. Take one, big up Courts, man.
Every time.
For sure.
Everyone, thank you for checking in. Sorry, I got to do a big last thank you as well. I got to big up Juggernaut as well. He produced the theme tune.
Dope.
And it's one of the ones where it's like, I literally just hit him up. I was like, bro, like, I know you're a bad boy producer. Like,
For sure.
I need like...
One of them ones, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm a sucker for like a soul sample and a saxophone. Like give me that and a boom back, yeah. And I am nice to it, yeah. And my man goes, I've got something for you still. And he didn't even know that, and he just sent me this beat. And as soon as I heard the sax, I was like, come on, man. Misbehaving. It's a nice beat, man. So,
shout out Jugs, man.
You just blessed me with it, man. So I've got to give Juggernaut the biggest shout out, man.
So shout out, Jugs.
For blessing me with that, man. But again, everyone, bless up for checking in.
Yeah,
2020, man. Look, there's going to be some dope content coming this year,
we'll come back when Fever's with us as well, because then when that stuff's out, like I said, you know, especially I've seen like the African hoodie, like, trust me, when we come to that project, I'll tell you the name off, Mike, but that one, you know, this skin thing's important, so we're gonna touch on that. So I'll leave it at
real,
that,
man.
innit?
Real.
Say no more, man. We're ready, man. Man. So check out Bourbon Banter, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Again, there's gonna be some dope content this year, man. Like 2020 is gonna be a big year, man. So big up everyone, and I will see you next time. Peace
Peace and love, yo.